ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa speaking at a commemorative event to honor the life and legacy of Joe Slovo. I'm now joined by Professor Matebesi to look at not only the life and legacy of Joe Slovo, but of course the context within which this particular event and the events of the next few days are taking place. Prof, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. He was, Joe Slovo that is, a larger-than-life communist loved by a lot of people who also got to represent the ANC's spirit of non-racialism. What can you say about Joe Slovo on this particular day, on the back, of course, of that particular event where members of the ANC and the SACP stood side by side commemorating the life of this man, of course, with the background that we know events that have been happening over the past few weeks and months?
Hi, good afternoon, Vuyo, and compliments to the viewers as well. What a great man. I mean, Joe Slovo, for some of us who grew up watching and looking at politics at a very young age, we could not at that stage separate someone who was actually a member of the South African Communist Party from the African National Congress. And just to latch on your last remarks about the context within which this January 8th statement or ANC birthday celebrations will be taking place, is to state that if someone like Joe Slovo was alive, I strongly believe that the alliance would have been demonstrated a united front going into this celebrations. But today we can't say that because of what I would call almost like a leadership gap and all that. So for me, Joe Slovo stands out not only as the stalwart for the party that they belong to, but it's those leaders that I say we have reached and is celebrating the democracy that we are celebrating today and enjoying because of his selfless dedication and commitment to the future of this country.
I'm always wary of making those predictions of what a person, where a person would be or what they would be doing, given the disappointments we have seen and the, from many leaders that we trusted and held in high regard, but the events of the past 30 years have made us wonder. But that said, I won't second guess you, Prof, and I won't doubt at all what you have just said. He was the first minister of housing in this country. And when you speak to especially poor South Africans who are, many of them homeless, many of them unemployed, one of the things that they aspire to have still is houses.
Yeah, very difficult. I mean, it's sometimes very difficult to make, even for us to do some of these predictions. But over the years, we should also look at many things that have become part of our body politics in South Africa, and where it seems as if the focus today is on self-enrichment, gaining political power at all cost. And I don't think leaders like Joe Slovo would have wanted a situation like that. I think when they handed over the baton, they also thought that they are entrusting the future of this country in capable leaders. And this does not mean today we don't have capable leaders, but it's just that we today operate our politics. It's living out in an environment where I don't know whether the center no longer holds. And then we've also thrown out morality, because that for me, sometimes when people are sleeping without clean water, when people don't have access to, food and stuff like that, and yet you've got leaders who are capable to resolve that and they do nothing about that, that is very problematic. And unfortunately, these are some of the challenges that is bedeviling and and facing South Africa today. And I don't believe that leaders, he had his own challenges, 1994, with the RDP policy and all that, the implementation of housing at early stages of democracy. But as I've indicated, those were leaders that really demonstrated that they've got a best interest of South Africans at heart.
Clearly, the center is not holding, Prof. I was looking at a comment made by the SACP spokesperson, Dr. Alex Mashilo, saying, "I'm sure Joe Slovo would have loved to see bigger and better houses within the framework of integrated human settlements, with recreational facilities on schools, so that wherever we develop these houses, it's a complete community with human development facilities." That to me sounds like someone taking a pot shot at the ANC, and of course, I mean, the ANC being the government, the people who have been leading this country over the past 30 years.
Yes, most definitely, Vuyo. And I still want to see how the ANC and the South African Communist Party will respond to the harm that will be accrued from all these public spats. Because for me, it's not a case of a political party having taken a stance. We should celebrate and commend the South African Communist Party for what the decision that it is taking. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It is an independent party, but one should also ask questions that it's definitely caused harm. And the timing of the decision, we know in the past there's been threats about taking a decision of this nature, but recently there's been taken, and this at the backdrop of what happened recently with the 2024 election outcome. So definitely there will be harm that will be accrued from that. And the question is, will the South African Communist Party accrue to this? Because for me, there will be unintended consequences. Definitely, if I am an ardent ANC member, I will question the loyalty and the commitment of some of the South African Communist Party members who are serving as ministers in an ANC-led government, well, obviously dominated government. So that these are some of the questions behind the scenes that will start to filter through, and that may also just damage relationship going forward. And it will be very interesting to see how both parties and even the community COSATU navigate around these challenges.
I'm keen to see what the NEC at its meeting today will decide to, is what they're going to say to their members about this SACP move. I'm also keen to know what those NEC members, when they met in that room where outside of which our colleague Khumalo was, what they're going to say about what or how the ANC president categorized their loss, at least in part, in that statement that he made at the commemorative event, the Joe Slovo commemorative event earlier today. He says, I don't know if you agree with him, that the ANC has been weakened by the splinters. The splinters have thoroughly weakened the ANC. I don't know if you agree with that analysis.
Yeah, no, I do. I do agree. If you look from COPE, EFF, and now we've got MK. But I mean, obviously, with the decision taken by the South African Communist Party, it's not a splinter group breaking away. But fact of the matter is, it has been part of the ANC alliance, the tripartite alliance, and it will have damage. I mean, obviously, reputational damage for the ANC going forward. We already have some muted responses towards this, where the ANC Secretary General stated that, well, they can only support the decision, although they disagree with the South African Communist Party, but there's nothing that they can do. But I believe that they will definitely debate this particular issue, and perhaps the stance will be, we will live with the decision taken by, although it's regrettable, we will live with the decision, but ANC members in all branches in good standing needs to take a stance and continue to support the party, because the party is not definitely disintegrating, but they can only grow stronger and stronger. They need to send a message of confidence building, that will build confidence amongst rank and file members going into the election campaign for 2026 local government elections.
The question, I guess, Prof, is whether that message will find resonance beyond the party faithful, for it is broader South Africa that has in the past voted for the ANC in large numbers, and not just the party faithful. Prof, thank you very much for your time and insights. Really appreciate it.